Hey, what's up, friend? You are you interested in lack of skill? Yeah. Or maybe some suck. I'm just a new guy for the love of game. Wait, don't go. I know it's bad. Times have changed, but not by mad. Don't you know that games are my thing? Yeah, I know it's getting real late. Come on, look at me. I even do storytelling. Also, podcasts on great game subjects. Okay, yeah, I'm not a Markiplier or a PewDiePie. But hey, that's what makes me so unique, right? 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 And hello everybody, it is I, NikoTheLegend, also known as the well-mannered teenager, the snowflake, the rambling idiot. And these are nicknames that I didn't come up with, although I should have because they're all true. But I got a very special episode for everybody today. I hope you're ready for this because this is the first time I've ever really met this person, this fascinating person. A lot of firsts today, like Discord calls happening for the first time, and yeah. Anyway, this is the 80th episode, so I wanted to do something pretty special, and I had to get a very special person on the Niko show. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of flattery all the way around. It's going to be a cringe fest. So please welcome the great cosplayer, Victoria Hofferson. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did. Hi. So
Okay.
now it's two people that call me special. My mom says I'm special as well.
Well, I talked to your mom behind the scenes somehow. I got connected. It was like, so what does she like to be called? Special. I'm like, all right, got it.
I'm so special.
So Victoria, how are we doing today? How are you feeling?
Yeah, not bad. Feeling quite refreshed after a lot of work, and I've got a weekend of work ahead of me, and then more work on commissions.
Awesome.
So I'm just relaxing, and I set up my little crafting corner today and put the LEDs up. So I hope you like it.
Awesome. Oh, I can't wait. So that means she's gonna come back on, everybody. She's gonna come back on. She's gonna be a prominent guest of all time. She signed a contract. She didn't even know.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll feel a slight jolt. If you haven't already, it's gonna happen sometime during the recordings. So I said great cosplayer. Is that the because we're gonna be talking all about cosplaying in general, you doing cosplays, the inspiration, pretty much the yada yada, the 101, how it all came to be with you and everything. And so I wanted to ask, do people call you cosplayer? Like, what's the proper title for the, I guess, would you call it a job, the job title or passion title,
Yeah, well, when I fill in my taxes, I say I'm an artist or a
Okay.
costume designer.
Okay, cool.
But most people just call me a cosplayer because it's now become such a huge thing and so
Yeah.
popular
Yeah.
that it's. Even when I did the music video and I was the costume creator, they still put cosplayer in the credits.
Wow. Okay.
So it's kind of cool.
So so you personally, what title do you like to go with most or the best?
I don't know. I like the Great Overlord Victoria. It's kind of cool title.
All right, perfect. Like in my title for the episode, I was like, how am I gonna how do I make this title? I said an interview with cosplayer Victoria Hofferson, but I'm like maybe the Great Overlord or something with Victoria Hofferson, but somehow it'll have cosplayer still in it or costume designer. I actually think that's great. It sounds like there's multiple titles into one because it is a lot of work, and I mean we were just talking a little bit about the little not the little or big stress, but the type of stress that you went through a little bit and stuff. So it gave me a good idea, and that's the stuff that I'm curious about because I've never really had a conversation with a costume designer or an artist in this regard, a cosplayer ever. I don't think I've been friends with anybody that does. May I say what you do as would you consider it a job? or is it still like a passion project for you?
Well, I get paid for it, so I'd say it's a job. Well,
All
for
right.
most things I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
My mom
yeah.
doesn't think it's a job, but I think it is.
I mean, there's a lot of love and passion that go into it, and I think that's all that matters. And the financial side of it is just like a bonus, which is always
Yeah.
always a beneficial thing. Okay, cool. Because yeah, this is really the first time I ever got to talk to somebody to get the lowdown on all the operations and behind the scenes on how this stuff actually go, like how it goes down and everything. So
Yeah.
thank
How
you
to
very much, the great Overlord
Thank
Victoria
you.
Hofferson.
No, I'm so glad someone wanted to talk to me because I've been locked inside for an entire year, barely seeing anyone. So
Oh,
that's
yeah,
nice.
that's shame. Man,
And
it's a bummer.
yeah, the fact that you chose me as well, that's really, really flattering. So thank you.
You're welcome. I think the origin story. It's very short and it's very small. I think what it was. I want to say it's either from you doing cosplay, costume designing for Witcher, or if it was Kingdom Come Deliverance. I don't remember, but you came up. I think one of those companies or the yeah liked your picture, and I think that's where it came to be. And
Oh, that's so cool.
it was just like love at first sight. I was just like, oh my god, this is the person that I'm going to ask to do an interview. 2 years later, it's predestined on the Mayan calendars. I had it written out. Eventually I ran out. I'm like, okay, it's happening on this day. But it's not going to be the end. It's going to be the beginning of something awesome, pretty much. I think
Wow.
that's what happened. Because like on Twitter, you get to see what other people like, and I believe you popped up, and I follow other cosplayers as well, or I see other people like these costume designs and people dressing up and stuff. So I get to see that too. But there's everybody's got that one person that like really clicks for the likes and everything,
Oh
and it's
wow.
yep, it's gonna be pretty
I don't I,
cringy.
I don't even know what to say. That's so nice.
You can say nothing. You don't have to say anything. I could just keep going for like, yeah, this is great. It's just long walks on the beach are really nice, and then boom, that's where I found her
Wow.
in the stars. Yeah, don't
And
tell
I
your.
thought this interview was going to be really like difficult. You can just keep talking.
Well,
I'm just listening.
you just gotta butter up the person you're interviewing, and then you go for the kill. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much the origin story. Like it like that's usually how it goes. Sometimes it's like it's that small or that short of a thing. It's just like happens in a blink of an eye, and I think I liked the picture that you posted, and I think the first time we ever communicated, if you want to call it this, I think, and this was like an ongoing joke with you. I always talked about leg day and stuff with you. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, you did.
That's me. Like that, I was the guy that's like, man, she does not skip leg day. And then you're like, yeah, I haven't done legs in forever. And I'm like, wow, that's it's just already perfect, just amazing.
Yeah, I've got a lot of pictures with my legs out.
That Xena Warrior Princess costume, I'm seeing it now. Or even Gabrielle, she's showing a lot of leg too, so that's perfect.
I've gone through really different stages of my legs being enormous and then quite muscular. Now I'm at this. Like a month ago, they were okay. I actually really liked the way my legs looked,
Yeah.
but now I just got really like sluggish again.
Yeah.
So lazy.
Well,
Don't
you're
want to do anything.
yeah, and I mean it's always very not motivating when you're pretty much trapped in a box. Lack for a better word, in layman's terms, because you said there's still
Yeah.
lockdowns going on for you.
Yeah, and the thing is, it is illegal to leave your town as well, and I live in a tiny little town just outside of Prague. So whenever I go running, I can't leave the perimeter, so I can only run within the village,
Wow,
and it's just been so boring because I know all the the routes and everything. It's
that's
doesn't
kind of
find it
scary though.
enjoyable anymore.
Yeah, that I mean that sucks, and that's kind of scary though. It's like you always I'm sure you somewhat feel that you always have like a target on your back. If it's like you step over the line,
Yeah,
that's it.
you can get fined. It's
Yeah,
like someone's watching.
yeah. I mean, there's always somebody watching. It's that's the scary thing.
Yeah, you know, I feel like whenever I like go somewhere where I'm like technically not supposed to be, even when I'm going like shopping or doing something important, I feel like you know when you're in a shop and there's a security guy just watching you, and you feel like you're like a thief, but
Yeah,
you haven't done anything wrong, but you just feel like you're doing something really bad. That's
yeah.
how I feel.
Yeah, and then it like causes you to mess up, and it's like I knew it. The security guard's like, I knew you were up to no good. I'm like, you just give me stage fright, bro. I'm just trying to find a loofah, like a loofah for crying out loud. Ah, she's the loofah thief we've heard about.
The Loofah thief.
Yeah, I got terrible jokes all day, Victoria. I'm sorry. I should have gave you. This was totally unplanned. I should have told her that my jokes are terrible.
Yeah, you should have worn B.
Yeah. I mean, I told your mom. I mean, that's talk with talk special. It's like I just told the wrong person. Okay,
Well,
so let's start from the beginning with you, Victoria, Great Overlord Victoria. That does have a nice ring to it. I ain't gonna lie. How
yeah, like
how did this all came to be? Where did the passion come from? What were the beginning steps, the humble beginnings? How did you get from point A to point B? What was the journey like? And go.
I feel like I'm still at the point eight. No,
Okay.
it was I'm not actually doing cosplays for that long. I'd say like 4 years, which is in terms of, you know, like you get these cosplayers that have been doing it for 10, 12, 15 years. It's not that long, I'd say. But how it started. Well, I just saw someone wearing a cool outfit on the internet. I used to play a lot of video games, like I don't know, League of Legends back in the day,
Oh boy.
and
Yeah.
and Skyrim. So
Yeah.
those were the main topics I used to follow, and there were a couple of cosplayers that like in America that were quite popular and were, you know, how do I want to say it? Which just got a lot of reshares on the internet. So that's how I saw it. I think it was the first one I saw was Jessica Nigri
Okay.
and her League of Legends cosplays, and then I kept seeing lots of other people that had incredible outfits, and I was really creative, and I wanted to try something like that because I've always loved dressing up.
Okay.
You know, at like school, what's it called? School dues. I don't know. My mum used to make my costumes, but
Awesome.
I always used to like to wear them. And when I did like horse training as well, I would make my own dresses for photo shoots. So it was kind of like natural transition to
Wow.
from doing, you know, like some art and some dressing up.
Okay. What's the How young were you at that time when it started to become like a thing where you were making your own costumes and doing like the horse riding stuff?
um, well, horse riding I've been doing since I was like 7, and then
Okay.
the I got a little bit, you know, popular on YouTube back in the day,
Cool.
thanks to my horsey videos. Well, I say like a little bit popular. I don't know. It's just like some of my videos were getting like a couple of millions of views.
Wow.
So
So wait, hold on. So I'm talking to like a low key YouTube artist, like pop star, or that what?
no, well, I was just making, you know, shitty videos on shitty compact cameras, and they were awful. And I had like it was terrible, like montage kind of stuff. Oh, it's so cringy, honestly. The cringiest videos I've already deleted because it's I can't bear to watch it. I still have some of them on my YouTube channel, but they're awful. They're honestly awful. But at back then there was nothing better.
Yeah, yeah.
We had like this community of teenage girls that were like watching each other ride their horses and do stuff. So
Yeah. Wow. So YouTube first. Wow, that's awesome.
yeah.
Okay, so
Um,
when you were making your like first outfits when you were younger, how old were you then?
mm, Well, I wasn't really making any outfits when I was young. It was more like when I was at my high school prom, I made my prom dress, and that's how it sort of started. So I started making really, really simple dresses because it was cheaper than buying them.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and then I moved to England and I was working at the time at Microsoft doing
Okay.
quality assurance for video games for Xbox. And so, like I said, I was really into video games, and I felt like I need to do something creative because I had a office job, and it was kind of dull
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
really like I couldn't see any work behind me, and
Yeah.
that's what I love. I just love creating whatever it is. So I went to a convention with my friends and I made a costume to wear. But at the last minute, I kind of chickened out. Is that a phrase you'd use?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Oh, it's definitely in
Yeah.
America. Definitely, we love chicken and chicken in general. Beef and
Oh,
chicken.
I bet you do. So yeah, I just chickened out and I didn't wear it. I just wore my casual clothes. And then I realized that it was a big mistake because I saw a lot of people wearing amazing costumes and even from like the same video game. So that is like such a great icebreaker. You get to meet people because hey, it's I don't know, Darius or
Yeah.
it's whatever. So I kind of regretted not wearing a costume. So the next time I went, I obviously wore one. And even though I like to this convention, I went on my own. I met so many people. It was crazy, and we became friends. And I love that. I love meeting people. They're like
Yeah.
really nice and fun.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's the nicest thing anybody said for me in a long time. So, what was the costume that you wore to that convention? What game was it based
um,
off of?
Well, the one that I didn't wear was Arcade Misfortune from League of Legends, and the one I did wear was actually Wonder Woman.
Ah,
It,
okay,
it
okay.
was my first Wonder Woman costume, and that's where it all went downhill because the stupid Wonder Woman. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
terrible, but a friend of mine who cosplayed Batman, like a really, really good Batman,
Awesome.
he had a friend who needed a Wonder Woman costume, so I sold her my old one. And then more and more people were asking me if I could make it for them. And so that's how it started. I sort of listed the costume on the internet, and then people started buying it,
Wow,
and things started happening.
that's
I
awesome.
even I went to America for like my holiday when I
Whew.
quit my job, and I actually met up with one of my clients who ordered a Wonder Woman costume from me. And it was really odd because we would talk about the commission, and she seemed super nice, so we talked more and more and more. And also she also trained horses, so in the end I sort of decided to go visit her as well. And so I made her the Wonder Woman costume, and for myself I made a Queen Hippolyta, which is her mother in the movie, and we had a really, really cool photo shoot together. So
Awesome.
that was really fun.
Can people can is it posted anywhere online or is it just like a private collection that you keep?
I definitely have it on my Instagram, but it's from 2000 and I don't know, 18, 19. It
Oh,
feels like
okay.
it's forever.
Okay. Yeah, right. I
Yeah,
know. I know.
I can probably show you like this.
Sweet. Everybody,
Um,
we're getting a sneak peek, but any audio listeners out there, you don't get to see it. But if you watch it on YouTube, you will. I forgot to do um, shameless plugs. I guess we can do that at the end of the interview or whatever you want to call it. So anybody who's wondering where you can find Victoria, we'll do it. We'll talk all about that at the end of the interview.
yeah, they can decide if they do actually want to follow me or not.
This is actually just a big test.
Yeah. So yeah, here's the where's my camera? This is the photo shoot.
What? No way. That's cool as hell.
It's a Washoe Lake in Nevada.
Dang.
Got really cool pictures actually.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
Well, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to add her on Instagram, or as soon as I hit stop recording. That's going to be great.
So yeah, when I was there, we did cool stuff, and was there actually like for the summer, and in the meantime, I got a letter from uni saying that I've been accepted. So I immediately flew back to the UK to go to university. It was so funny because I
That's
didn't know whether they're like what I'm gonna do because I applied for uni in July. And then in September, I was supposed to be starting. It was
wow.
so funny. And so, yeah, while I was at uni, I was actually, because it was foreign, so I couldn't have like full student loan. So I got only partial student loan. So I was making costumes to like to be able to afford my rent and food and stuff. So I
That
was making a lot of Wonder Woman costumes because it just sort of like, I don't know, blew up a little bit.
wow. So, did you keep like a tally of how many costumes you made? To where it just got to that point. You were like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I've lost count. I've made like over 200 sales on Etsy,
Wow.
and specifically Wonder Woman, I think it's like about 50,
Dang.
maybe more. I don't know. So yeah, that's how like me as a cosplayer, that's how I make a living. So I make costumes for other people, and then sometimes, very rarely in my free time, I make something for myself. And it's usually like before an event or something. So I rush it and it's not up to my standard, and I'm super unhappy with it. But
Yeah.
recently, because there are no conventions and no deadlines for my own costumes, I started putting a little bit more work into them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, as sad as it is to say, if you have projects you want to do at home, you got the. In general, people had the free time and still do. I mean, I picked up
Yeah.
playing piano. Like I was like, I want to learn.
During like last year.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, I want to learn a
Oh,
new
that's
hobby.
awesome.
Yeah. So I'm still learning that. It's still brand spanking new. But the cool thing is about music or just art in general, at least for me when it comes to playing music, for example. So I've been playing drums since I was 18 and I'm 31 now and been doing it for a long time. I've been in bands, played shows, made some recorded demos and stuff, and then just, eventually it just became a hobby. It still is, not as much as it used to be, but what you learn from playing the drums, with like melody, rhythm, and just being synchronized and just being able to like do the whole visualization thing, I can take that into piano. So if so learning piano isn't as difficult as it would be for somebody learning piano for the very first time, and it's their only instrument they've ever learned because
Yeah,
they
definitely.
they haven't like opened up their brain to that type of that side of the spectrum. So
Yeah,
with piano,
because you have to synchronize your both of your hands like differently, and they're
yeah,
doing a different task at the same time.
yeah,
That's when I was learning to play the piano. That was the most difficult thing for me because
it is, yeah,
when your brain wants to control them at the same way at the same time.
yeah. Our bodies really like to be in sync at all times, and we do it all the time, and the biggest in sync thing we do is blinking. Pretty scary, right? Yeah, when you blink, you blink both eyes.
Yeah.
Someone called 911 for her. She's losing it.
It's so difficult to just blink separately.
Yeah, and it just looks weird. Or you're just actually making fancy eye contact with me. Yeah, there are some people that just can't wink worth a damn, and it's like this. It's just weird, dude. Like especially guys who
Yeah.
wink. I think guys always get a bad rap if they wink. It's like, that's just creepy, bro.
Oh, I've never really paid attention to anyone blinking. Now it's gonna
Yep.
freaking follow me all the
I
time.
think I set myself up for failure. Now she could just look in my eyes and it's just constantly blinking in sync. But yeah, with piano, I was able to, take what I learned from drums pretty much and just tap it into that, um,
Yeah.
to getting all the rhythm. But anyway, yeah, it's been fun. It's been a fun hobby so far. I've actually on my Instagram I record if I have any new songs that just I come up top of my head, I record them and then I'll post like samples of it on Instagram and stuff. It's fun. Also, I'm learning like the most basic like video game music ever on piano because like I don't know if you know Victoria, but everything that I do in life is heavily inspired by video games, like writing my book, my avatar for Niko the Legend, um, playing music and stuff. Like it all somehow just stems from me growing up playing video games, or maybe even watching movies too. That was a big thing I
Hmm.
used to do, or playing toys with toys. Anyway, but yeah, video games,
It's
video
almost
games.
like we have something in common.
Our first one.
We both blink.
That's
We
in
like video
sync.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we could somehow
We
just
blink and think.
blink in sync. That needs to be like a bootleg version of in sync, the old band back in the
It's so good.
day. Blink in sync. So we have the great Overlord. She's from Blink in Sync, and I mean Shark. You know the show Shark Tank. It's pretty much a done deal. We got it in the bag.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're inventing, but we'll invent it. Um, So I really like this whole progressional thing with the journey you've told us so far, and there's something I wanted to ask you. So when you talked about paying for bills and food by doing commissions and stuff, how difficult was that for you to pretty much live off of that to, I guess we could say, survive in this day and age in terms of paying all that stuff off? So you can live for another day. How hard was that for you?
Yeah, well, it was actually at the start when I started doing it like 3 years ago. It was okay because I had enough commissions, but it was tricky to sort of combine it with uni, because, and that's quite embarrassing and really cool at the same time. I actually got accidentally accepted into the final year of my uni.
Cool.
So very accidentally.
Oops.
So I had a lot of things to catch up on and work on my final year project. And plus, I was working sort of full time on those commissions, and I was socializing and partying and all that. So like
Yeah.
the first year, I had no sleep. It was crazy. I had virtually no like free time where I would just relax. I'd go um I'd go to school or uni, then I would work on commissions, and then I'd go out with my friends or something. And sometimes I'd have a lot of deadlines, especially before Halloween, stuff like that. So I would not sleep at all
Oh
and
man.
just work until it's done. It
Yeah.
was crazy. The last couple of years were a little bit less stressful, I'd say, because I was able to sort of organize my life and separate everything. And also, I'm quite good at having the work discipline. So when I work, I work.
Yeah.
So it's not like, it's difficult when you're working from home because, you go make a cup of tea, or you just like watch some videos or whatever. I just sort of like to sit and work on the stuff, and I write it down and
Yeah.
do everything. Though last year was a little bit different
Mhm.
because I wouldn't have as many commissions as usual. So I had to do other stuff. So I was trying to move more onto more digital stuff. So I learned how to 3D model, and I started selling patterns for cosplays for other cosplayers. And I was working also on some other projects that weren't like as well paid,
Mhm.
but it kept me quite busy. And I got to work on my own stuff as well. So it's good. I had a lot less money, but especially I say thanks to my boyfriend, who's been really supportive, and like we moved in together to save up money on rent.
It's the way to do
So
it. Yep. Yep. That's
kind of managed. Hopefully, it will start getting busier again, and I'll get into my, back on track with the stuff.
yeah.
It looks like it is. This year has been okay so far.
Hey, yeah, you'll be
Touch
able to
wood.
run countryside. I'd be like, so this is what it used to feel like. No, that's great. I like I like how you were able to adapt to the situation of like, well, I can't do the things I was doing before. That was pretty, I don't know if I would say you got complacent with, but that was the thing that was making you the money, and this was the process. But now that I can't do this, my hands are tied. I gotta think of other ways to profit or get something going. And I like when you talked about like the 3D modeling and stuff. Like you actually, you know, made an effort, took the time out to learn something new. Probably was pretty, a little scary at first, because it's like when you got that cloud over you of like, crap, I really got to find
Yeah.
something to do to make a living or just survive. That's like the worst type of thing. That makes people go a little crazy. So, but sometimes a little crazy goes a long way, especially because, you kind of you get
It's
scatterbrained.
crazy, yeah.
Yeah, you get scatterbrained. You're trying to brainstorm. Like, okay, I could probably do this. I could try this. So it's good that you found something that you were curious about and you went for it, and you know, you learned from that experience, and that's a lot of thing that that's the best thing about a person on like maturity level is the critical thinking aspect when you're under pressure and stuff like that. So you're able to just be like think on your feet, and you're like, you got to go for it. You try not to, because when you overthink things, you just get stressed out, and then so you start pulling hair, and then you're no longer the
Yeah.
great overlord. You become the not so great under peasant or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's impressive. That's what I'm trying to say. It's impressive.
Oh, well, you do make it sound like it's impressive. Seriously, it's not. It's just
I
and it
could
wasn't at
butter
the
up
start.
anybody.
It was really scary because, suddenly people would start canceling
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and you're not allowed to, do anything,
Yeah.
sell whatever you were used to.
Mhm.
And I felt like it was only just like it has only just started for me, and suddenly it went to a full stop. So I wish I had done everything what I did. I wish I had done it sooner because that would save me a lot of trouble. I was so
Yeah,
like worried what's gonna happen next,
yeah.
you know. But we're still
When
here, so it's okay.
still here, still beautiful and young, and just still great.
Oh
Um,
yeah, so yeah.
that's the thing. It's the in that situation, it was more like when push comes to shove, and yeah, sometimes that's what it takes. Unfortunately, in these types of circumstances, we don't want to always go through that, especially in this day and age. But it's honestly, that's the curveballs of life, unfortunately. But that's when you're really tested. So yeah, you gotta live to fight another day.
Yay!
Okay, that's it for my TED talk. You gotta live, you gotta fight for your country, or something like that.
Oh no.
Stand up for yourself. So, so let's get to the fun questions here. Let's get to the fun part of the interview. The first half was just like, just
Uh-oh.
I just like start taking off my shirt, my hat, and I was like, "Yeah, this is the fun part. This is the wet T-shirt contest that only I applied for."
Oh, that's
so,
all right then. I don't
so
have a t-shirt, so that's problem solved.
you could be a judge. You got my back. So, let me ask you this, Victoria. Um, let's talk about I don't know. I guess the pros and cons. If I want to sound pretty lame saying that, I was going to ask you, what is your favorite thing about doing the costume designs and cosplaying in general? What do you like? What do you like most out of it?
The community. Honestly, that's the best thing. Like if I didn't, know people like yourself and stuff, thanks to me cosplaying, I probably wouldn't do it.
Hmm.
Not at least on sort of that level or amount as I do, because that's honestly what I enjoy the most, and it's just something that inspires me and keeps me going. It's the people. Obviously, I love creating stuff, but I love seeing other people working on it, and
Hmm.
that sort of thing. So that's my favorite thing.
I mean, yeah, a good dose of of a community can go a long way. It's nice to be. People always want to be appreciated, of course. And I'm not saying you're putting up these pictures for the attention grabbing of all attention grabbing,
No, yeah, no,
but
no,
but
that's
it's
not what I meant.
no. I'm just saying in general. But people seeing that and seeing all the work you put into it and stuff, and they're like, yeah, that looks badass. That's great. That's all that matters. It's like there's somebody out there that was very appreciative of your work, and honestly, all it takes is one person saying that. And also
Yeah.
it's all about a sense of accomplishment too. So for example, let's say if you did post up some stuff and you didn't get anything, but the fact that many people don't realize the fact that you still did it, you still went out of your way, you created something that you were proud of. um, that's all that matters too. But yeah, definitely community
Yeah.
goes a long way because networking is like the key to any type of success in life. um, and you know
True.
it's kind of like that sharing is caring type deal. So it's like an easy conversation starter too when you get people that are kind of doing the same thing as you're doing. You get to kind of hear their methodologies and what they do for creating costume designing or cosplaying and stuff. Their quirks and stuff. So it's pretty cool. And like I said, I've never talked to a costume designer or a cosplayer. This is the first time, first time seeing one in the flesh or in the digital flesh. I guess we can call it that. That just sounds really weird, but yeah, the
It
digital
does.
flesh, blah. Um, but that's it's great though. It's cool. Like I like these. I like meeting these kinds of people, like artists in general. Like it's my favorite thing is just hearing like the inspiration, the 101, the journey and stuff like that, or the ongoing journey. That stuff is always great. I mean, a lot of people like hearing that. Like where these people came from, what was their background, their origin story. Everyone likes a
Yeah.
good origin story. That's why we like superheroes so much because they always have something pretty neat. Um, so
Yeah, I do too. I
yeah.
like being on the sort of other end as well, appreciating other people's work.
Hmm.
It's yeah, and you get the sense of accomplishment as well when you're seeing like someone who becomes your friend
Hmm.
getting better and better at their craft and being excited for creating their favorite character and
Yeah.
achieving something. So I love seeing other people and following their work and rooting for them.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's like, I mean, as people, we're always on stage, so we're always wanting to perform and look our best. And sometimes we get that stage. The stage fright is always the scariest part. Me in particular, it took me a while to get over that type of thing. Like doing speeches in front of like classrooms and stuff, like students. that takes a while. That's like the worst.
Yeah.
That's like the worst type of stage fright because it's like, you know, the teacher's like listing all the names of who's going. You're like the person that goes dead last, or you decide to go dead last, and it just makes it worse. You just got to always go first or second.
Yeah, I was bullied at grammar school, so it was even worse because whenever I go, talk about my project, no matter what I said, everyone would be like laughing at me and stuff. So that was
Wow.
horrible.
You said grandma school?
Grammar school,
I've not heard of
like
that.
primary school.
Oh, okay, okay. See, I'm learning new things. You're learning new things. It's great. Okay,
Yeah, I
cool.
think I'm not sure. I'm not native, so I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but I do believe it's grammar school, like
Okay.
grammar, not grandma.
Grammar. Are you saying grammar?
Yeah, grammar. It's grammar.
See, you gotta sound like a good old Southern folk in America. Grammar school. Yeah.
Yeah, we like some chicken pot pies and stuff.
Wow, I gotta pay you by the hour to sound like that. Next time, if you're ever on the Niko show again, we're just gonna talk in a Southern drawl the entire time.
Oh, I don't think I can do it.
Most people can't. Blah.
I
Okay.
can't.
I can't.
I can't.
All you gotta do is just watch Forrest Gump about 20 times and you'll be fine. Forrest Gump will go a long way.
Yeah,
So,
I've never seen it in English.
oh, it's classic. It's southern,
Yeah.
very southern sounding, especially Tom Hanks in it. He's
Yeah,
like,
these things get lost when you get voiceovers.
yeah.
It's sad. Like, I never realized that Shrek was actually Scottish.
Yeah,
Until quite
Mike
recently.
Myers.
Because
Yeah.
my friend was quoting, like, get out of me swamp or something like that. And I was like, oh, it would be so funny if Shrek was Scottish. That would be hilarious. And he's like,
He
are
is.
you joking? He is Scottish.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah,
I
Mike
never
Myers.
realized.
Yep.
Oh, it's so sad.
If I'm watching a movie on Netflix or something and it's a foreign movie and the native language is the first language isn't English, or if it's probably German or Swedish or something,
Yeah.
I always do the native language and then have subtitles because my god, dubbing over those like live action movies is horrible. Just horrible. It's just not the same. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
Because, like, that
Well,
the language is portraying a different type of context compared to, like, English voice actors and stuff. It's just not the same. You don't get the same
yeah,
message.
that's true.
Um,
Though, The Witcher, for example, it was filmed originally in English, but it's really, really fun to then watch it in different languages. It's so funny.
but, like, they keep
We
Henry
watched
Cavill
it
the
in like
same.
Czech and Polish and German and everything, and it sounds kind of odd and wrong, but it's funny.
But they kept Henry Cavill always the same, though. He's talented enough to where he can just do all the languages himself. I mean, why not?
Probably. He's
That's-
like, Kurva.
yeah. Come on, Roach. That's like my favorite thing. That's the thing I always liked hearing in Witcher
Oh,
3
it's so good.
Yeah, he's like, come on, Roach. That's my favorite thing.
Oh, that sounds so much like him. How did you do it?
Well, if you really want to know, it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg. I mean, I don't know. I've always been growing up. I always liked comedians that did interpretations of other actors and stuff. So I guess that's where it came from. I always try to practice it
Yeah,
on
it's
my
very
own.
impressive.
Sweet. So what you're saying is that I could pull off being a Witcher, not Henry Cavill Witcher, but just a Witcher in general.
Yeah.
I've been
CD Projekt Red Geralt.
yeah. There's only that's all Henry Cavill. I won't disgrace him that way. I just won't. I'll be my own
All right.
Witcher.
I'm actually excited for the new series because apparently Queen Maeve is going to be in it, and I've cosplayed her before, and she's my favorite character in the Witcher universe. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do to her.
By the way, a side note: the Queen Maeve picture was the one I found you. That was the one.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Yeah, well, because the Witcher Twitter page shared it.
Yep. And that's all.
I should have reshared it again the other day because it popped up in my notifications. I was like, oh, cool.
It's an amazing photo. It's awesome. Uh,
Thank you.
my favorite part of it is probably I like the scar across the face. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm a huge scar person when it comes to making characters
I
in
love
games.
scars.
Yeah.
What can I say?
S-
Actually,
Go
one
ahead.
time I cosplayed Siri and I used the wrong type of, you use sort of scarring liquid that just shrinks the skin around where you put it.
Hmm.
And it doesn't hurt at all, and then you can just peel it off and it's fine. But I accidentally swapped the flasks and I used the wrong one, even though it
Oh
had the
no.
same name.
Oh
And it was
no.
the stuff for warts, or you get on your feet to like burn it out. And so I put it on and I was like, oh, it's burning a little bit. It's odd. It shouldn't burn like that. And it was
Oh no.
fine. And I went to a convention and wore an entire day. And then when it was time to sort of peel it off, I peeled a load of my skin with it. It was like burned underneath.
Yeah, yeah. It's
So I was like, I had a real scar.
Yeah, you
I
see
quite liked
this?
it actually.
I'm kind of into this. I'm gonna try it all over my body
Yeah,
now.
I'm kind of into it. If it didn't hurt, it would be nice.
I think so. Sometimes they'll freeze. Not to sound disgusting or anything, but they'll freeze warts off too, and it feels like that. Like it's like a sharp, like stinging sensation. Maybe it was just like really cold stuff that you were putting on, and somehow it just worked out that way. Who knows? But yeah,
It
scars are cool.
was kind of really cool.
How long did that outfit take to make for you? The Queen
Mm,
Maeve.
Queen. Well, that was one of my rush projects because
It looked perfect.
I was. It actually it isn't all that great because I rushed it so much. I spent about 3 or 4 days on it, um,
What?
which is like
Whoa!
insane. Even other cosplayers are saying that you're ridiculous. That's
Whoa!
just like too little. 2 weeks were too little, and 3 or 4 days were definitely
Oh
not.
my gosh, that's crazy though. That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, it actually turned out quite well. I was finishing it on the day, so I was like sewing stuff together so it holds. So it wasn't ideal.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't particularly happy with it, and I got some hate from other people at the event because they were like living history reenactors kind of people in
Yeah.
full plate real armor, and then I came in there with my foam
Yeah. Yeah.
armor that was just not historically accurate as well. Like the shape and everything was off according to them. Uh,
Hey,
but
that's
I
not cool.
felt quite cool, and I
Yeah.
love the character. Actually, I sold it to a to another cosplayer from America.
Woo!
I believe she's Swedish though. She just lives there. I'm not sure. Um, but I would love to remake that costume again, and I've keep seeing it everywhere. It keeps popping up, and it's just like this looks so cool. I want to make it again and like
It's
wear it to one of these events.
yeah. It's trying
We
to.
have Witcher themed enormous like festival here in Czechia. It's called
Wow.
Blavicon.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's amazing because there's a strict dress code, so you're not allowed to wear anything else that isn't like historical or
Mhm.
Witcher. So everyone gets dressed up.
Mhm.
Everyone dresses up in costumes, and we sort of like role play as well. There's lots of board games and drinking and music. We had some really cool bands that do like Witcher style music, like the Percival who did the soundtrack for The Witcher 3.
Wow.
They
Yeah.
go there as well. It's so much fun. Like you can just dance and drink and eat and
Be
play
merry.
cards.
Drink and be merry. That's cool. Man, that sounds like a lot of
Yeah.
fun. That's a great name for a convention too. So, how many times have you been to that one in particular?
I mean, once.
Only once. Okay. I mean, I was just curious. Is it a new thing that they've been doing, or has it been happening a while now?
They have been doing it for quite a while, but I only moved to the Czech Republic 2 years ago. Yeah, it was it's just over 2 years ago, and the first one I went to was the year before last,
Mm.
and it was so much fun. And then they do it once a year. So there was supposed to be one last April, but it got cancelled,
Oh,
and
yeah, of
they
course.
had a lot of trouble because they have spent so much money on the event and paying for everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and suddenly they would like it was just cut off, and they had to return the tickets and everything. So they did some crowdfunding to get the stuff back and organize another one,
Hmm.
which was supposed to be this year, but they already postponed it, so next year. But they did a couple of events, like smaller ones in between. It's called One of them is called Bluffberg, which is a small event for like 100 people, for like
Oh,
cosplayers and reenactors and photographers.
okay.
And that's where my Queen Maeve picture is from, because we went to this castle
Oh,
and
awesome.
we kind of ate, drunk, and were merry,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
took some pictures as well. So it was really fun. And last year there was one called goodness, what's it called in English? Well, it's just Novigrad.
Novigrad. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so it was there were a limited amount of people, and we were supposed to, stick to all the health and safety rules,
Yeah.
and um, a lot of it was outside, so it was a lot safer. But it was really fun because it was themed as like Novigrad, so there were like gangs and that sort of thing.
That's super cool.
So,
Did anybody
if
did
you played the game, there were like the Horsons gang
Yeah.
and some succubi.
Yeah, Succubus. Yep, Succubi. Did anybody play
Uh,
Priscilla's song?
yeah,
Awesome. That song's fantastic.
yeah, no. Actually, the Czech version was by a band called Deloraine, which is the band my boyfriend sings in, and they're always at the BlaVCon events, which is my favorite thing in the world, to like just party.
Yeah, party and dressing to impress. Impressing while
Yeah,
dressing. That's awesome. I have
I
I have yet to go to one of those things, just like conventions in general. Like there's in I'm sure you've heard it from because it's like a worldwide thing almost. Comic Con, and then you got
yeah,
Comic Con's a big one, and then like I don't Comic Con's pretty far away for me. I think there's one in L.A. and then there's one in New York, and then for me there's this that's close by to me, like an hour away is this event called MegaCon, and that's pretty much just like an all around type of convention, and you just dress up whatever like superheroes, video game characters, like you name it. I've actually wanted to
yeah.
go to that this year, but it was delayed to at the end of the year. Usually it happens in the dead of summer or in the middle of summer. I was gonna go as I don't know if you watch anime or anything, but the anime One Punch Man is like this bald guy in a yellow jumpsuit with like a white cape and blue, red rubber gloves and red rubber boots. Really simple looking costume, but that's the one I wanted to go with.
Oh,
Super
that
simple
is
design,
cool.
but there's actually one costume that I want to wear, and it's literally what my avatar is. It's I mean, my avatar for my channel and stuff, like the whole frog thing, is based off of the game Chrono Trigger. The character Frog, that's his name. I mean, his real name is Cyrus,
Mhm.
but in the game he's Frog. So that's where he's kind of like that's like the base foundation for where I get the look and stuff, just with like the Niko hat and the headphones, Um, but there's nobody like selling the frog costume online or anything, and I'm thinking I would have to, because it's like it's like simple pants, boots, gloves, and it's got like a small like breastplate, and then he's got a sword and I think he's got like a cape. It's not too fancy of an outfit, but nobody's really selling it online on like any like Etsy or Amazon or whatever you want to call it. Um, but one of these days I
Yeah.
want to do that.
You have to commission someone to do it for you.
Pretty much. I think I'm already talking to her. This whole time was just one giant sales pitch. But that's what I want to do. I would like to do like a real life picture of like wearing the costume and like kind of dressing up as my avatar. Not wearing like
Yeah.
the frog skin or anything. I'll be the human version.
All right. I was gonna say, I've seen some really cool like Argonian from the Elder Scrolls universe
Yeah.
costume. They're like heads being sold. I guess you can sort of
It'd be kind of like that though. That type of
yeah.
that
You
type
can
of
pretend
design.
it's a frog.
Yeah, just make it really green. So a couple last questions here before we close it out. Actually, there's a few. There's a few. Sorry, I'm double dipping here, triple dipping. Um, Now, what is your least favorite thing about doing what you're doing, like the costume design and the cosplay, and like which one really just drives you up the walls? Like any type of instances where it just really puts a lot of stress on you, like for example deadlines or not having the proper materials. um, Anything that comes to mind?
um. Well, a lot of the times I don't like deadlines, but they're a good motivator.
In a
So
sense, yeah,
that sort of I don't know. We have like a love-hate relationship with me and deadlines.
yeah.
So I can't really say that what my least favorite thing is.
I mean, if you
Um,
don't have any, you don't have
I
any.
would like to say because I do on my what do you call it? Customer service and all that.
Some PR stuff, okay.
Sometimes
Yeah.
that is so difficult because some people I already have a lot of work, and then I on top of that I have to do other stuff.
Hmm.
And then when some people don't read the description or want a refund or something, that's just like
Yeah.
not really my fault. For example, the 3D models.
Hmm.
When I started selling those online, I um, had this problem where people would buy the models and then they want a refund because they didn't realize that it's a 3D model. Even though I say it like I put it everywhere,
Everywhere,
I
yeah.
plaster it all over the listing. It's in the description, it's in the title, it's in all the pictures. It's written there. It's a
It's in
3D
your
model.
house.
It's everywhere,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they even have to click on the little thing that says like, "Do you understand that this is not a physical item?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then
Jeez,
yeah,
yeah.
also another thing is like it costs like it's so cheap. There's no way in the world that I'd be able to produce an actual thing for that cheap. Like it would cost me money, and and the shipping is crazy expensive. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
people
yeah.
would like want to argue with me that like it's not it's my fault. I didn't have it anywhere.
God, yeah. Communication,
Yeah.
PR stuff is never. It's it's usually the thing that gets people good. Yeah, customer service is probably the most obnoxious thing in any business or
Yeah.
anything involving people. Like, hey, or anything with money involved. Anything with in general, anything with money involved, it's always like this like live or die scenario. And you're saying it's
Yeah.
cheap. You're saying it's the 3D modeling is cheaper. It's like a cheaper option and stuff. And it's like you're getting what you paid for, but they treat it like it's like the last thing they'll ever buy on this entire world. And it's like no, it's all wrong. Kind of just
Yeah,
over the
you get,
top.
and it's not just like regular customers. It's the companies as well. Sometimes they do really dodgy things to
Shady, yeah.
the artists,
Which isn't cool
and
because artists do so much work. Oh god, especially in video games and movies and stuff. Oh my god,
yeah,
it's nightmarish
and
almost.
then they get a load of shit for it.
Yeah. Like I
Um,
was
also,
mhm. Go ahead.
um, I was gonna say, like, I get really like amazing and nice people, and then I get like really horrible, stingy people that just they order a custom made costume, and then they wear it to a photo shoot or whatever event, and then they return it to me and want the money back.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah.
actually had like there's an automated system that does this sort of thing. So a couple of my costumes I've essentially like given out for free. So I spent like weeks making them,
Yeah.
spent money on the materials and shipping and everything. And then the client just like gets to keep it and and
Yeah.
gets the money back. That's so frustrating.
Yeah, that's taking advantage of the system. Yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
double dipping there. Yeah. I mean, you don't make anything from it. You just kind of like wasted your time in a way, and you're like, great, here we
Yeah.
are. Um, yeah, like I said, those costume designers, the people that do all the behind the scenes work for like movies and games and stuff, it's just insane. Like, I don't know if you ever like, are you familiar with Weta Workshop out in New Zealand? Like,
Yeah.
pretty much people that did Lord of the Rings and stuff. Like, I was just watching like the appendices of Lord of the Rings, and it's just like,
Mhm.
holy crap! Like there was just two guys that all they were doing was like they were doing like this like the ring mail, like the the armor and stuff, and that's all they were doing. It's just like putting
Oh my God.
the ring mail together for like a whole year because they had to make like one for every person, and there were so many people involved in that movie, especially like the big fight scenes. But that's all they were doing was
Yeah.
just putting the rings together, just making the armor. That just the ring mail, not even like the breastplate or nothing, just the ring mail, and it's like here we
That
are.
is, yeah, the chainmail is horrible. I've tried. I did like a little mantle, and my arms and my carpal tunnels are absolutely killing me. It's
Yeah,
honestly the worst work I could
yeah.
imagine.
So yeah, and it's just like it's a very
Yeah.
tiny rings and everything. Yeah, it's just a nightmare. So that's just like just that's like so-called simple only thing that you're doing. Yeah, not so simple. Just it's very painful. um, okay,
Yeah.
cool. And last thing, so if I was to if any random person came up to you, great overlord Victoria Hofferson, can't forget the last name, if I was a person who was wanting to get into cosplaying in general, let's just go with that, um,
Yeah.
how would I start? Like, what would be the advice that you would give this person or me if I'm like, hey, I want to start designing my own stuff. Like, where do I begin?
Um, do a lot of research. I know that's like a really generic thing to say, but that definitely helps. There's so much material online. You just search for whatever on YouTube. You take the costume that you want to make, and then you sort of split it into like parts of what it is. Like, if it has a, I don't know, a wig, then you order some wig, and then you can style it according to like YouTube. Then if there's some clothing parts, you can either sort of assemble it from the stuff that you find online,
Okay,
or you can, try sewing it yourself. There's so many tutorials on that you can just follow. It's really easy these days. And
awesome,
then
awesome.
for if it has some armor, there's plenty of really good tutorials as well.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, just have fun with it. But you have to understand that it's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of patience and a lot of money
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make something.
It's like you guys are tailors, almost blacksmiths in a way. Just
Yeah,
yeah, just tapestry in general. Yeah, just a whole bunch of different stuff into one. Because, like, back in the day, they had one person for one thing. It's like, I gotta build the armor or the swords. You had a blacksmith for that. Oh, gotta weave the clothing. We had a tailor
yeah,
for that. But this is like, depending on what materials you get, of course, there's always like the cheaper materials, right? Depending on the budget. And then there's really the big expensive ones. Um,
yes.
So that's definitely
I like the cheaper ones. You can work with it quite well. Like for example, the EVA foam is the material that I use the most, and you can make it look like anything.
it's like clay. It's kind of cool, or how clay you can easily
Yeah,
shape things.
it's well, it's like a glorified yoga mat. It's just a
Yeah,
sheet. I actually have them in the back, and you cut it, and you can engrave every like little detail into it and add texture to make it
cool.
look like, I don't know, clothing or leather, plastic, steel, whatever. It's really fun.
Someone made millions of dollars off that material. Like, holy crap, that's
I
amazing.
mean, yeah, but it's it's really cheap to buy, so they're probably not making all that much.
I mean, you'd be surprised, right? It's like supply and demand,
Yeah.
cheap cost. I mean, um, that's amazing. Okay, so the bottom line is nowadays you can just do the tutorials and stuff to get started, like the basics. And the people that do the tutorials, they tell you, obviously they tell you what material they use and what the specs are. Do they tell you like what websites to go on to order the materials or what kind of shops you can go to?
Yeah, a lot of the times they will like put links
Mm,
where to get stuff. And if you're unsure, you can always ask them. From my experience, like honestly, cosplayers are so helpful.
yeah,
They don't like hide their know-how, some people, some artists, like they have their secret formula that they don't want to tell anyone. Cosplayers are like a different sort.
yeah,
They're quite happy to share whatever secrets they have with other cosplayers, because it's like a really nice, friendly community, so we're all
yeah,
like friends.
yeah. And it's probably because it's just so much damn work. Just bottom line,
Yeah.
it's like if people, yeah, like you said, if they're nice, like listen, I'm doing this for you, yeah, and for me, because I don't want you to sit here and suffer trying to figure this stuff out, like it's a Rubik's cube or something. So that's cool. I like that. It's always nice to have a user friendly type of thing,
Yeah.
especially when you're trying to dabble into something. Because like people like to dabble into certain areas and stuff, and it's like, huh, you never know what like hooks you in, what grabs you. So that's cool. All right, awesome. I appreciate that. Well, great Lord, great Lord, great Overlord, Victoria Hofferson. God, I can't say that 3 times. That's too hard. Um, this has been a fun, exciting time. I had a blast. This is great. Like this is so fun getting to know
Yeah,
you
that's
and knowing the rundown of how this all works. Um, yeah, you were definitely a big help on just like letting me know the know-how and kind of knowing like behind the scenes and what drove you on this journey that you're still pursuing. And then, is this something you want to do still for a long time? Sorry, I don't want to sneak that one in on you. I just came out on top of the head.
Um, yeah, I think I do. I want to do like a combination of things. I want to get back into horse training,
Mm,
and at the same time do some art, like digital painting and traditional painting, and also make costumes
awesome.
and make props and that sort of thing, make 3D models. And I just, I don't want to get bored. I want to do, I
Yeah,
want to do it all.
yeah. You got many avenues too. That from what you just listed. So more horse videos coming to our YouTube channel.
Oh no, not videos. They were too cringy. I don't think I can bring myself to do it again.
Cringe, all about the cringe. Okay, awesome. So yeah, it was a blast having you on the show, and let's do the since I usually do this in the beginning of the podcast, but I was just like way overwhelmed with excitement of meeting you, pretty much face
Oh, stop it.
webcam the webcam face to face. Where can people reach you? What are your tags?
Um, quite easy to find. I'm on Instagram at Victoria Hofferson. It's Hoffferson, or on Facebook/Victoria Hofferson, or Patreon/Victoria Hofferson.
Cool.
And on Twitter, I'm Vic Hofferson, because the Twitter handles can't be that long. Apparently, mine is too long.
Yeah.
So it's just Vic. And I do have my website, but it's under construction and it's probably really, really bad. It's victoriahofferson.com.
Okay.
I don't know what the state of it is at the moment, actually. So
Uh-oh.
I probably shouldn't say it,
That's
but it
okay.
is
Yeah.
there.
And then Instagram, you said you had one as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
Instagram.com/Victoria Hofferson.
Awesome, awesome. So you guys will see the links down below if you're watching this on YouTube.
Thank you.
And if you're... Hello? Did somebody say something? This is also going to be on Spotify as well, so any audio listeners out there, just check out check out all the plugs that were just mentioned from Victoria Hofferson, and then with me, NikoTheLegend, you can find me on Spotify, YouTube, Twitch. I'm also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the whole shebang.
Oh, that reminds me actually that I have a Twitch channel as well. Very, very sad.
But I'll bring it to life. I'll be the biggest fan of all. Is the Twitch handle Victoria Hofferson, or is it the Great Overlord?
Yes.
You can always change it to the Great Overlord. No, Victoria
Actually,
Hofferson is a great name.
in my Discord channel, I am called the Great Overlord.
Perfect. Awesome.
Vic's Vapor Rub.
Ooh, yeah, that's perfect. So,
do you have that in America?
Yes.
Vicks?
Oh, it's very, very common in America. Very common. Yeah, you see it all over, like in like the grocery
Excellent.
stores and the aisles where like the prescription medicine, that type of stuff.
Yeah. It smells so good.
Fun to smell, not to eat, right? Yeah.
Just like me.
Fun to smell, not to eat. Well, I don't know how to react to that. I wasn't ready for that kind of. So this has been a pleasure, everybody. I've been NikoTheLegend, also known as the well-mannered teenager, the snowflake, and the rambling idiot. And you heard from Victoria; she's fun to smell. So your boyfriend hasn't made. Let's just say that. All right, guys, take care. Bye bye.